The Misty Show. The Misty Show, your number one companion. The Misty Show. The Misty Show, your number one companion.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Ms. D Show. My name is Adora Stephanie Odo, and I'm your host. Today on the show is a very interesting segment. We will be talking to three distinguished young men who are doing fantastically well in the mining industry in Nigeria. They actually run the first gold processing facility in Nigeria. Today on the show, I'm going to be talking to the chairman, C.E.O, NASAMAN Mining Limited. He's here on set with his ED operations, Mr. Henry Mitchell, and Alhaji Musa Idako, the ED protocol and logistics. Welcome, gentlemen. Then we'd like to know a bit more about how this came to be. I mean, talking to you, the chairman, when did you said you started this like what, 2000?
In 2000.
Exactly, that's like a while back. And you were about how old?
Oh, still pretty young then. I was at school.
You were in school, exactly. That's what I'm trying to find out, because he's very young, for those of you who don't know, research. He's actually a young man, and he started this back in school. So, obviously, that's a while back. I mean, why? You were in school. People in school at that age think of how to finish school, how to party, how to go clubbing, how to spend daddy's money. But you were thinking of how to make money and how to be a man on your own. So, I mean, what motivated you? What made you decide to start a business?
Oh, different things actually. Well, as you said, daddy's money, but when daddy's money isn't really, moving you to where you need it to be, obviously you have your own demands as a person. You start to get more business minded on how you can provide for yourself. And coming from Nigeria, which is quite blessed, I thought, yes, okay, what do we have? Oil, the oil sector, let's see what's there. And that sector is dead, basically. Saturated. Everybody, the basic electrician, is carrying allocation letter for something.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the industry, it's a shame to be, you are even ashamed to mention if you're in the oil, because everybody is in the oil industry, So I tried a few things there, but, too many ring fences, impossibilities, disappointments, and I thought, what's the next best thing? And I found out mining. So I said, well, if this mining exists, what do we have in our country? So I started researching. While at school, I employed a few geologists and incorporated my company, NASAMAN, which is actually my name, Maman Nasir. And, my ED protocol and logistics helped me run and maintain operations, and liaisons, knowing how to normalize documents. At the time, because, I was also young and didn't have much finance, I had to use my sense a bit by, going in the direction of the artisanal works. So my applications evolve around places that actually have minerals.
Right.
And I targeted gold, because gold is something everybody is interested in. For centuries, it has never fallen out of. And it's not a commodity that will end up like oil, because gold is rare. It's always going to be in demand.
Right, of course.
So that's what actually gave me the zeal. And I went ahead to gather over 300 applications for various concessions, and decided to take it further, because it's not gathering everything. What will you do with it when you've gathered everything?
Of course. Yeah.
Where are you going to now process? Will you join these corn grinders to be grinding locally and enslaving people, giving them mercury vapor, or what exactly? So I put my head down, and my ops manager and I go back a long way, actually. We knew each other, yes, from England. So I spoke to him, we rubbed minds, and he came down to assist. And, we put our head down and we eventually came up with, setting up the business model that would suit the Nigerian environment. So we came up with this plant. We actually brought it in, personally installed it. Even in the acquisition process, it went to Canada, Zimbabwe, South Africa, before coming here in Nigeria. So the evolution of the company, really, that's it in a nutshell.
I mean, it's safe to say that you're quite a brilliant young man from school. I mean, to be in university and be thinking this wide and doing this much research and actually starting a business like this, you must have been a bit above your peers, I would say. I mean, coming from Nigeria, most young Nigerian kids don't think that far when in university. It's all about having a good life, And then, there's a perception, which is going to go back to what you said in Africa and in Nigeria, where people just think when you're from a comfortable family, you tend to be irresponsible because, you have it all laid out on the table for you. And when a young person from such families seems to be doing well in business, people attribute it back to your parents. It's always, oh, he's just lucky, it's his daddy's money and stuff like that. So, that brings us to finding out, was it your dad who actually helped you? Because I know you said you started from school, but to start a business like this, you need finances, obviously. And it's quite capital intensive. So how did you go about managing to get the capital to start off in the beginning?
Well, luckily some of my friends from school, because I did my primary and secondary education here in Nigeria, their parents were in positions of either a minister or in a big company or in a bank. Right. So, I started small to just raise money for these geological trips.
So it was pretty much you and your friends, not parents backing?
No, not really. The parents backing, of course, with their prayers and support. But, they were also skeptical because mining is not something, until we've set up this thing to show and demonstrate, it's not something people really
jump into.
Everyone's apprehensive towards it.
Right.
So I started by supplying stationery.
Okay.
Pencil, rubber, cleaner.
Really?
Yeah, paper. Make some 3 million, throw it in there. And slowly I was evolving the company.
So I was going to say, because, that you had friends in high places who could help you talk to one or two people. So that's opportunity.
It's not just opportunity, I'd say, because even with friends in low places, it's about having a vision and knowing what you want.
Exactly.
And knowing I can't go and tell daddy that I want maybe, or I even saw a nice Rolex watch. Or that, yes, or I want a sports car. You have to do some things on your own.
True.
So these are, one of the things.
No, because in Nigeria, the problem a lot of people face with the high level of unemployment is so many people have big visions and dreams and things they would love to do, but they don't have the capital to push it.
Well,
and I say
that's because most people, are not willing to go far.
Okay, so how far could you possibly go?
Well, in my evolution of my business to where it is today, I've supplied stationery, I've sold parts to finance the business. I have, started up other companies that have helped me get to this. And of course with investors, that you had to convince. So it's also your education and how you want to.
I was going to get back to that, your education. But what it is like, what I'm trying to paint here is there's so many people who carry proposals around because they have great ideas on paper.
We've all carried proposals.
Of course you have, but then, there's a difference. In government sectors, for instance, most of these jobs that are advertised in the papers, some people believe it's just a show off because at the end of the day, they know who they're going to give the jobs to. So when you have an idea or you want to do supplies, like you said, to be able to start off something, it's very hard to actually get those projects or those contracts given to you if you don't have someone inside or if you don't have, someone pushing for you. That's unfortunately the Nigeria we are today. So there's so many people who are going to be watching this at home, and there's so many people who come up and say, well, I'm not opportune. I don't have that connection. I don't have friends. I don't have I'm not come from a big family. I have great ideas and I know how to push this, but I don't have anyone to help me push it. And some of the people who don't have as great ideas as you do have people to push theirs. So a lot of times it boils down to opportunity. Not everyone is lucky enough to have that opportunity. And that's what we try to do in this show. We try to inspire people that, you don't always have to be fortunate to get to where you want to, but they want to know how. Because a lot of people try it, but they just...
the thing is also with proposal carrying, most people is about just carrying the proposal.
Right.
They don't think, didn't go through, or maybe I should adjust. And they target only a certain segment.
Right.
So, for example, you can't just sit and say, I'm waiting for government, let me propose, there's the private sector.
Of course.
If you wanted to supply 3,000 units of X, to the government, for example, and it doesn't work or you can't get it through, you give 200 units of Y to the private sector. I mean, most things government, this is also the mistake people make. Most things government actually give out. The private sector gives similar.
Right.
Like, for example, banks award jobs. You have banks, you have even companies award jobs for like small things, even publications.
There is someone inside that's interested as well,
It depends on how resilient. I mean, if the person personally pushing, the thing is most people push, do you know what I have here? Do you know where I'm coming from? I am. It's not about that. Yes, you have to be patient. Even if you wait morning till night, if you no work, you'll be very angry, of course. But you carry your bags, you go home.
You continue.
And you sleep. While sleeping, you think of the next approach. As a company too, we've almost restarted at least 4 times. We've had a major challenge.
I think there's another thing going on here that's particularly prevalent with the chairman. If your idea is good enough, I think people will listen, no matter where you're coming from and who you are. And I've seen that over here, having spent a considerable amount of time in Nigeria. Also, I think you've got to be prepared to go to places other people won't necessarily be prepared to go.
Right.
And I don't mean that just in a physical sense. Now, obviously, mining's very hard physically. It's a demanding job. This is a slow burn industry, and it takes a huge amount of perseverance. So, when I say go to places that other people are not prepared to, that's all part of it.
Right. So it's resilience, obviously, like you said. You have to have a dream, you have to have a goal, and you have to be determined to see it through. Because some people try and then they lose focus, they lose the zeal because they feel like they've tried a couple of times and it just isn't working. And that's why so many youths go into a lot of vices in Nigeria today. They become touts, they become robbers, they start, unfortunately, the internet scam. And all sorts of ridiculous things, because truth be told, they just can't get a job, or they just can't get someone to listen.
No, it's not about just getting a job as such.
I think the whole thing boils down to the vision.
Right. Okay.
So if you have a vision and you want to get it to follow you to the end.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no you wouldn't give up no matter what setbacks you.
You just have to keep trying.
Keep trying it. The vision of the chairman, particularly, is commendable. Because this is a young man who could have walked up to any corporation in Nigeria to pick up a white-collar job. But he chose mining and he stood by it. And he did everything humanly possible to get us to where we are today. I don't see what we would have done without him.
Great man. Man with a vision.
I try.
Well, he's trying to be humble right here. But he showed us try because, Nigerians are a bit, we have a few hardworking Nigerians like, the chairman and people who have dreams and notwithstanding follow through. And you have a whole lot of them who just cannot be bothered. I know for a fact the chairman, happens to be the son of a former PDP chairman, and people out there would think, well, because of where he's coming from, you probably expect him to be arrogant and irresponsible and, just spending daddy's money, so to say, like they call some people in Nigeria. But he's out there working out. He's used this phrase to me before. He's been on the streets, if you know what that means. So, this is hard work right here. So it doesn't really matter what background you come from. I think first and foremost, it's always important to establish that your background doesn't mold who you are. It's who daddy is and what daddy has. The question is, who are you and what do you have? And where do you want to go from where you are today? Stay tuned and we'll be right back after this short break to find out. And what do you actually do? What does it mean to be an MD, the CEO? What do your companies actually do? Right. So how do you reach out to these people? Like, what is your outreach like? Are you based in a certain area in Nigeria, like Abuja? Okay, so because I'm trying to understand how people get to know about, designers marketplace. For people who don't know what it is, they become touts, they become robbers, they start, unfortunately, the internet scam, and all sorts of ridiculous things. Because truth be told, they just can't get a job. Why we're curious, that brings me to ask, like, what are the hurdles musicians face in Nigeria today? What is the main hindrance that stops a lot of people from getting to where they need to get? Hello, and welcome back to the Ms. D Show. My name is Adora Stephanie Wodo, and I'm your host. If you're just joining us, we were talking to the chairman CEO, NASAMAN Mining Limited, Mr. Maman Nasir Ali. Welcome back. So, Nasir, let's go down and deep. Right. We've been talking about mining, business, inspiration. Now I want to talk about you. Mm-hmm. You as a person, you as a young, handsome gentleman. Tell me, something I missed out on. What actually did you study and where did you go to school?
I actually studied public relations at university. I'm a graduate with honors in public relations.
Okay.
And I did a bit of public school in England. I studied in Kaduna, where I was born and bred.
Okay, that's high school.
High school, yes.
Right. But you do university in England. That's
yes, university in England.
What university is this?
London Metropolitan.
Okay, so you're a London boy.
Well, I'm more of a Kent boy, really. But...
Right. Yes, of course. So tell us, are you married?
Well, I'm not married, actually,
That's surprising.
Too much work and problem on the head hasn't, but there is someone. I am soon to be engaged.
Right, so you're in a relationship.
I am.
So is that unfortunate to the ladies who are probably already drooling? They're probably going to be really hot at the moment. Like, people are already thinking, young CEO,
really?
Doing so well, handsome young man. And now you tell them there's someone. Well, you're a northerner and you're a Muslim, so is there space for another one after the first one?
Well, I'm not sure even with the one I can cope. I've got 8 sisters.
Okay.
So even the one would be a heavy enough.
You should be a professional by now with 8 sisters. Come on now.
Yeah, that's why I think 1 is
One
enough.
is fine.
Yeah.
9 is, and that's a wrap.
Yeah,
Plus
9,
10.
Exactly.
Too many women.
It's a lot of work.
So sorry, girls. There's no vacancy in that aspect. So try another door. So tell us, what do you do for leisure? Because you seem like it's all about business. You seem like you've lost your youth days. You were in university, supposed to be having fun.
Exactly.
And you were doing business, and you're still doing that now.
Yeah.
So when do you relax? Do you ever relax?
Yeah, rarely. But in a year, I tried to take a month where I try and do things like, my work is exciting, I must say.
Right.
Going out into the bush, to find concessions. You ride into remote places people haven't been. And,
did you see animals and tigers and snakes?
Yeah, we come across a few animals, monkeys.
Oh no, that's scary.
Snakes.
And you get by?
Scorpions. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, I don't want to work with your company. I don't want to be in there. Yeah. But then, when you relax, after a long day's job, you sit on the sofa, you put your legs up. What do you do? What do you enjoy doing when you're not working?
I actually played rugby at school.
Okay.
So I enjoy watching rugby. I'm not really into football or a good movie.
Okay.
I go hunting.
You go hunting? Oh my God. Well, you're used to the bush, so that's explainable.
Yeah.
Okay, then
I collect stamps.
Oh, okay.
I like cars.
Really?
Yes.
You like cars?
Yes.
So have you gone for any of this Grand Auto?
I've actually been on a rally once, like the gumball in England.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Really?
quite
You have
fun.
a fun life, actually, after all this.
Yeah, in between it, I
You
always try.
find time.
Yeah.
So that's bringing me to the question: where is your favorite vacation spot? Because you seem quite well traveled. So I mean, there has to be one place when you think about it, you're like, when I get time off work again, I am so going back there.
I'd say Mykonos in Greece.
Really, Greece.
Yes.
I need to go there. It's pretty.
It's very
Does it give
pretty.
you that? Yes.
Yes, it looks like a postcard.
Really?
It's
So
kind of
walk into it,
yeah,
literally.
a spa island, so you can't take calls.
Oh, really? Oh, that is
You
perfect.
could
I
call
need
your
that.
phone, but I mean, everyone's so relaxed. You have a massage morning till night.
Wow.
Take your time. Yeah.
So tell me, what is your favorite food?
My favorite food. Well, I love Nigerian food, of course. I'm a traditional title holder.
You are?
yeah.
Okay, stop with the food. Hold up. Let's go back. Rewind. Traditional title holder. Where?
Yes, I'm the Egana Oboko Ataigala of Kogi State.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I'm also the Shetima of Ambrusa in Kebbi State.
2 chiefs.
Yes.
This man is fantastic. I mean, he is 2 chiefs. I think I have read somewhere that you have something to do with the military in the UK.
Yes, I was in the UK. I did some military training there.
Are you sure there's no vacancy? Because I've totally seen even mothers like, my kid has to be married to this man. I mean,
Wow,
you were definitely something we need to, commend. You're a young man who's doing a lot for himself, and I'm sure a lot of people would love to be friends with you.
Thank you.
People can draw a lot of inspiration from you. So he's a fantastic young man. He's very approachable, and he's doing very well. So if those of you who are going through struggles or who are trying to be what you want to be, I think you have some hurdles. There's always time to speak to someone who's gone through what you've gone through. Don't judge people by where they come from or what opportunities you think they have, because you'll be surprised that so many of these people have these opportunities but don't actually use them. They use what they can achieve for themselves. It's all about who you want to be, who you are, and not who your family is. So if you ever have questions and struggles, you can always send us an email at the Ms. D Show. Go on the website, www.themsdshow. The Twitter handle is @themsdshow. Or send an email to themsdcollections@yahoo.com or msdcollections@gmail.com. I would always reply you, or just leave a comment on the website. Nasir, would like you to say a word of inspiration or encouragement to young people who are out there trying hard to be like you.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I'm to give any inspiration, really, I'll just say more resilience. Learn to always adapt. Things are never smooth with business. You can't have one person today that can say they've set up any successful business without all the drama, the disappointments. You get... I mean, and Africa is a tough business climate. To be able to, sustain, you need resilience, going back to the drawing board. Sometimes just switch off and be running different ideas in your mind till you actually hit what it is you believe you want to deliver. I'd say, resilience and just tolerance, and stop depending too much or believing too much in your... I'm not saying don't listen to your parents, but it's not that you depend your whole life, you'll be disturbing them or thinking, then when they don't do, you resort to drugs or being a nuisance because you think they didn't do. You should get up and do for yourself.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's a keyword. Get up and do it for yourself. There's one more thing we do on this show. We always offer our viewers a gift, courtesy of our guests. So, what can one lucky viewer actually get from you?
Well, even apart from job, we could offer the lucky viewer maybe a gold coin to show they're part of their agenda
A
of
gold coin, like a real gold
diversification.
coin.
A real gold coin
Hey!
processed from our facility.
NASAMAN Mining Limited is offering you a gold coin. I would run to that website right now and start chatting. So, how you win this? You would come on the website. There would be a question about Maman and Nasir Ali, and you answer the question. For whoever wins, gets the answer right first, would get to win a gold coin, courtesy of NASAMAN Mining Limited. So, until next time I come your way, stay inspired, keep doing what you believe in, and one day you will achieve your goal. Until next time, stay blessed. My name is Adora Stephanie Odo. Thanks for watching.
The Misty Show. The Misty Show, your number one companion.